welcome to a small video that I would like to make that I've been calling Behind the Scenes in Quarantine. In this video I'm just going to go over all of the different projects I've been working on in the booth here at the Minnesota Wi-Fi Performing Arts Center at Castle-Manville High School. Since June I've been coming in about every Friday, sometimes even more than that, to work on different projects, some of them for fun, but a lot of them just for maintenance because we've had a lot of time on our hands, obviously, with the world situation. The first thing I'm going to cover is the light board and anything to do with our lighting network. I have done a lot of research and learned a lot about our lighting network and how these sort of modern light networks work with SACN addresses and DMX addresses and all of that. The first thing I did this summer was I updated the software and firmware on this light board. This light board, we have the ETC Ion. It's already about 5 years old, and it had never been updated. So we had the software that it came with basically in 2016, and that was software version 2.3. Now we're on software version 2.9. There have been many upgrades, and there's a lot of nice new tools that I enjoy using. The second thing I'd like to cover with the light board that I've upgraded and updated this summer is the two different types of remotes. With it, you can just simply select individual channels. So I'm going to do channel 1 through 54 at full. So you can do basic commands on here, and even though I don't have the camera pointed at the stage, you can tell that it's on. You can modify individual channels, individual groups, individual subs, individual cues. So you can do actually a lot of pretty advanced stuff with this remote, and it's very useful. It was fairly easy to reset and get set up early in the summer, and I've been using it quite a bit. Now, the second type of remote, we're going to have to kick it like it's 2008 and say there's an app for that, because I got the ETC ARFR remote control app. So that means with the phone I can do much more advanced commands, color selection, with my phone or with a tablet or with an iPad or whatever. So I'm going to do a basic demo here of one of the many things you can do with this app. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the full cyc group of lights. So I do that, press enter, and then I go to here, and here you can kind of see it's like a scroll wheel sort of thing. I can turn them up, turn them down, turn them up again, and then I can go to color. And it's not showing up great on camera, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. It's like a color wheel sort of thing, and I can just select what I want. It's very responsive. So with this you can do faders as well, so I can just bring up the house fader if I can touch the right thing. There we go. Bring up the house. I can bring up the full stage lights. So yeah, any faders I program on the board will show up in this app. Alright, so this next thing is actually a little bit different. This is Light Jams. It's a pretty funny name, but it's a really powerful piece of software. So it's basically like its own little light board, but you can do much different things with it. It's a grid-based system, so you lay out the lights or effects, parameters, so intensity or color or shutter strobe or whatever you want on a grid, and then you have these power sources that can be dynamically changed, whether that be through just like click and drag on these dials or on these level adjusters here. It can just be a simple sort of wave, like a sine wave, like that, or it can be sunk up with music. So to show off this feature in Light Jams, I just have that power source affecting all 54 of our main stage lights, our main front stage lights, and it's sunk up to the microphone on the laptop, which isn't great, but it can be sunk up to any microphone from the soundboard, which is very powerful. So I'm going to demonstrate this by almost punching my words out so you can see it's clean beats. Hey, now, you're an all-star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get the point. So now I'd like to show you what I've upgraded and updated on the video board here. Just like the light board, I updated the software and firmware of everything. Now if you know anything about live streaming, you know that you need an encoder. The encoder that I was using, because it's what came on the computer and it's what BroadcastPix software could interact with, was Adobe Flash Media Live Encoder. That came out in 2009 or 2010, so it's pretty old. It works, but not that well. Because it was hooked into the BroadcastPix software directly, that means it was doing software encoding, which was taxing the computer, which was already doing a lot of work rendering the cameras and rendering all the different sources on the BroadcastPix here on this interface, rendering all these different sources and cameras. That's doing a lot of work on the computer itself, so I wanted to switch to hardware encoding. Alright, welcome to the back of the server rack. This is the actual video computer. So we have this output of the cameras swinging around there into the HDMI splitter. HDMI splitter sends it to the booth monitor, which we were doing before, and back into the computer into the in. Now, instead of BroadcastPix telling the live stream software, well, I want to take what the software is rendering, you know, one-to-one and live stream that and have to double encode it, now it's just taking an input. Now it's just taking a video input. So as I understand it, I may be wrong, but as I understand it, and from my testing, this is much, much, much more efficient.
2 hours later.
Alright, many hours later. Seriously, like hour and a half or 2 hours later, I finally got the video computer back up and running. So instead of using the old or 10-year-old Adobe Flash encoder, we're using OBS, which is a modern. It's the industry standard. Everyone uses OBS, and it's so versatile. And this shows off that it's working, and it looks pretty good. Alright, moving on from the video stuff, I will get that fixed later. It's always something to do in this booth. This isn't necessarily something new, it's not something I set up, but it's something I'd like to show off, and I think we could use more, but I understand why we don't. This is an iPad that kind of came with everything in the booth here, and it is connected to the soundboard right here, and it is mirroring what I do on the soundboard. You can kind of see, there's a moving fader there. I can move some of these other ones. And this can work from anywhere in the pack. I can do any and all adjustments that you could on here. So you could have this for the soundboard, your phone or tablet for the light board, and you could be like completely remote somewhere, which is really, really cool. Now I'm going to show off what I accomplished with the headsets recently. If you've been in a play or been in a show at all here, you've seen someone wearing these headsets, and you've probably used one too. We have 4 of these wireless belt packs, and these have several buttons that we've never used. They have WTA and SA. Now, WTA is a technical thing that I could turn on, but I don't want to. SA stands for Stage Announce. Now, with one XLR cable back at the sound racks, I was able to route the Stage Announce into our sound system. So, if I'm backstage, if I'm out here, and I need to get someone's attention, I hold down Stage Announce, and I go through here. It's pretty great. Alright, welcome to my desktop. This is the final part of the video because it kind of encompasses everything that I've covered in it so far. Throughout the summer, as I've been working on different projects and trying to find new ones, I have looked up and gathered PDF manuals of almost every single thing in the Performing Arts Center. Lots of stuff in the booth, stuff with the Crestron and the networking, everything. And also within these folders are the show archives. So here is an archive of all the shows we've ever done at KM from the Lightboard. So these include everything from cues and effects to the patch list, everything. So you can actually load these all up on a Lightboard or the Lightboard software on your own computer and look at them or use them again from there. So we got lights. Let's look at, say, here's the Ion operations manual. This is the manual for the Lightboard. It's all just here. It's all offline. It's all on a flash drive of mine, and I also have a Google Drive backup of said flash drive.